Hey guys, welcome to Electronic Dance Money, your #1 business resource for making money as electronic musicians and producers. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Electronic Dance Money. I'm your host, Christian Casito. Hope you guys are doing well today. We got another episode. No guest today, but I do have an awesome guest coming in. What's today? I'm recording this today on Tuesday the 10th, and I've got an awesome guest, I believe, coming in on the 2nd of Wednesday, and the episode's either gonna be out on, no, I guess that one would come out on Friday the 11th of December. That one's gonna be a fucking awesome episode. You guys are gonna like that. I hope you are. Anyways, today we got a solo one though. We're gonna be talking about something I mentioned a couple of weeks ago with, I think it was with Zen, with Frankie Uria, Zen World. Yeah, I'm almost certain. Yep. Yeah. I briefly mentioned the hero's journey and, writing your marketing, focusing on the hero's journey, making it not about you, because it's not about you. You're not the hero. It's all about making the hero's journey about the hero in the story, your consumer, your listener, your customer, your client, whoever that is on the other end that you're trying to grab the attention of. They are the hero, and you're simply just an NPC in the side story, guiding them through their journey. So I wanted to dive more into that topic because this is a really interesting one. One, because if you're running a business, it is how you create a successful business. It's why people want to come to you, because you are such a good guide and you're not the hero. You're allowing the other person to be the hero. But two, because if you're an artist, if you can create the hero's journey for your listener, if you can market your music to be directed towards the hero of the story, not being you, but the listener, by them relating to your music, you're tapping into a crazy amount of power in psychology, and you're gonna get these super fans that will always listen to your music and always share it because they can relate. Now, first, let's step back and talk a little bit more about the hero's journey. There was a book that I brought up back on episode 16 where we talked about how to get more streams with your tracks. And in that episode, we kind of dive into creating a promo plan and marketing your music. And I brought up a book by Donald Miller called Building a Story Brand. And this is the book that it is the book that guides you through the hero's journey. So if some of you went and read that book, awesome. Hell yeah. You're grinding away, you're at it. That is a perfect book to read about how to build a story through your brand and how to market to your client, your customer, your avatar. In that book, and also there's a PDF guide that Donald Miller created, he talks about the hero's journey and how there's these 7 points within a hero's journey that you need to nail on in order to get the hero's journey correct. Now, if you look at just about any big movie that's, you could call them action movies, fantasy movies, sci-fi movies. Star Wars is one that I brought up a couple of weeks ago when we were talking with Frankie. And it's my go-to because it's set up so perfectly. When you look at like the original Star Wars movies, who is the hero of the story? Obviously, it's not Darth Vader. It's not Obi-Wan. It's not Yoda. These people are not it's not Leia. It's not Han. It's Luke. Luke is the hero. Now, when Luke is brought into the scene, he doesn't really know who he is or what he's really doing until he's faced with a problem. And that problem is that the Empire came in and killed his aunt and uncle. And he's kind of at his wit's end at this point. And he has an issue, and it is the Empire. And what happens next after that? He meets Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is his guide. He's the guide. Now, when you're thinking about this hero's journey, you're not Luke. You are Obi-Wan. You're the guide for Luke. Luke is your client or your customer or your listener. Obi-Wan then gives Luke a plan. And through this plan, Obi-Wan then gives Luke an action to take, which is then going to either lead him to his success or his failure. Now, this repeats again in episode 5 in The Empire Strikes Back with Yoda. What's the problem that Luke is given? Well, he needs to become stronger in the Force. Who does he meet? Yoda, his guide. Yoda gives him a plan, which is to become stronger in the Force. He gives him actions to become stronger in the Force, which later is going to end up leading to his success. Ultimately, at the end of episode 5, it leads to his, what seems like a failure, because he gets his, sorry, spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched episode 5 of Star Wars, but at the end of it, it leads to him getting his arm cut off by Darth Vader. He flees, but then he comes back in episode 6, and again, spoiler alert, he ends up defeating the Empire through the skills he was taught by Yoda in episode 5. That's how the hero's journey works out in every single movie. Lord of the Rings happens the exact same way. One of my favorite movies, Tron, happens the exact same way. All of these movies, books, anything that has a good story to it like that, it sets up this hero's journey. Now, when you're watching these movies or you're reading these books, you feel like you're the hero in the story. You are Luke. You want to be the hero. Everyone wants to be the hero. Your customers and your clients or your listeners are the same way. They want to be Luke. They want to be the hero. They don't want to be the guide. They don't want to be the villain. They don't want to be the NPC or the side person that's not really involved in. They want to be the main story. So your listeners need to feel that in your music. Your clients, they need to experience that. You need to be the guide, and you need to give them the plan that's going to lead them to success. Give them the plan with the action that is going to lead them to success. If you can market like that, you're going to be the king of the world. I will provide the PDF guide that Donald Miller created to demonstrate the hero's journey in the show notes. If you just head to envioussepisode 40. Oh yeah, that's right. We're on episode 40. I totally forgot about that. Hell yeah, guys. Give yourselves a pat on the back if you've listened to every single episode. Thank you so much, too, if you have listened to every single episode. Anyways, going back to what we're talking about, though, I just gave an entire breakdown of of episode 4, and 5 of Star Wars, but if you're following along and really listening, you can see how this hero's journey is set up, and you can probably imagine the way it's also set up in these other fantastical movies and epics and stories like Lord of the Rings, like Tron, like The Matrix. The hero's journey is everything when it comes to your business. If you cannot translate that, it will not work. If you cannot translate that, your business will not work out in the end. You as an artist won't work out in the end. Now, I have to give credit where it's due, and my inspiration for this episode came from the Six Figure Home Studio podcast, episode 101, where they talk about the hero's journey. And this next step that this next section that I'm going to be talking about was something that Chris brought up in the episode and was a big theme in it, and it's about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And when I was listening to this episode, I was really inspired by this hierarchy of needs and thinking about how can you guys as artists, how could you apply Maslow's hierarchy of needs along with the hero's journey to get more, if you're a producer, to get more listeners. if you're a business owner, I strongly recommend going and listening to that episode, because that episode's more focused on business owners, and this episode's a little bit more focused on you as producers trying to get more listeners and get more fans. But I'm gonna talk to Chris, because Chris is my business coach, and I'm actually helping him out with group coaching and marketing, as well as doing some one-on-one lessons with some of his students to teach them more about marketing and help them out with marketing. So I'm going to talk to Chris about getting him on a guest episode, and maybe us just going all in on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, because it's a very, very interesting topic. This hierarchy of needs is what everyone needs in order to really feel like an actual person, like they're doing something, like they're healthy, they're happy and healthy. If you can't meet these bottom like 2 or 3, you're in a really bad position, probably in a third world country. But the first are very basic needs, which are physiological needs. You need food, you need water, you need warmth, you need shelter. And I guess shelter can kind of play into the second one, which is safety needs, security, employment, resources, money. You need these things in order to participate in society, really, for the most part. Now, the third one is getting more into psychological stuff, which is love and affection and belonging. That's friendship. It's interpersonal relationships, good relationships with your family. And then going more into the psychological effect of life would be esteem, which is feeling like you're respected. You have status, you have recognition, which if you're a producer, most of us are searching for that. And then you have self-actualization at the very top, which is achieving one's full potential. It's going all out on whatever it is that you do. One big thing that Chris and Brian in the Six Figure Home Studio talk about in that episode 101, is about how a lot of musicians, and usually a lot of people in general, have those two flip, the self-actualization and esteem. They think that esteem is at the top and that's what they're going for. And they think that they've already self-actualized, so now they're going for prestige, they're going for respect, they're going for being the best at what they're at. But you can't self-actualize until you feel like you have that self-esteem, you feel like you have that respect, because if you feel like you have that, if you have strong self-esteem for yourself, then you're actually able to self-actualize, and you're able to meet your full potential and your creative capacity and going 110%. Take your self-esteem out of that and you can't self-actualize. Think about that. If you have shitty self-esteem, you're not doing the best that you could possibly do. Put great self-esteem in there and now you're working with something. So remember that. Because that was a big part of the episode that they talked about, and I don't really want to dive into that as much, because, like I said, if I have Chris on, we'll dive into that. But understand this hierarchy and how it works, because it applies to you, especially as producers. You need to make sure you feel good about yourself. You feel like you have respect. Because then you can live to your full potential and work to your full potential. The reason I bring this up, though, is not for you. Is not to talk about how you could be better. I mean, really it is. I do want you to be better. This is for you to be better. But the reason I bring up this hierarchy of needs is because I'd like to flip the script and look at this in the way of your listeners. How can you use you've got the keys to the kingdom now. You've got the secret sauce here on creating a hero's journey. Now, how can you also apply the hero's journey to this hierarchy of needs? Well, let's talk about the third and fourth tier to the top, which is the love and belonging, as well as the esteem needs. Think about most people who listen to electronic music. Most of them have this empathetic part of them where they have great friendships, or they want to have great friendships. They love people. They love the music. You know, think of the hippie at the festival that loves everyone. They're all about that. And what draws that out of them, think about what draws that out of them. What is drawing that out of them when we're talking about like electronic music? I mean, obviously it's the music, it's the beat, it's the melody, even aggressive music, you know, dirty dubstep, hard style. Most of these people, I would argue most of these people feel like they might have low self-esteem, or they have high self-esteem, but they would like some recognition. They would like more respect. They would like status. Almost everyone wants that, especially listeners. That's why they share new music, because they want to be a part of that in crowd. You know, they want their friends to respect their musical choice. They want to feel like they have status within music when sharing music. These are the things that you need to be thinking about when you're both writing music and you're also marketing it. How can you dive into that, drive into that? How can you move that forward? How can you apply that to your story and your music and your art? Because if you can tap into both the hero's journey as well as tapping into people's esteem needs and their needing their willingness and needing to be loved and in a group and feeling like they belong somewhere. If you can tap into those, that is a powerful marketing tool. This is why I've talked about, you know, when you're promoting your music, talk about and this is kind of going to play opposite of the building the hero's journey, but if you can talk about your story and why you wrote a song the way you wrote it, there's more authenticity behind that, and more people can relate to that. And they can feel like they're the hero in that in the journey there. They can also feel this intimate connection with you that they didn't have before, and they probably don't have with most people. Your music and the way you market it can be the catalyst that helps other people build strong, intimate relationships and friendships with people. That's how you can meet people's esteem needs, by them feeling like they're worth something through your music. And if you can market that, if you can make posts on social media, if you can create videos, if you can create a music video that highlights that and shares that, that's far more powerful than anything else out there. It's far more powerful than throwing $500 at ads. However, if you can write that message that makes people feel like they have strong relationships, or that your music can meet those needs, then they're going to, that $500 in your ads is going to be way more effective. Or that post that you make for promo is going to be way more effective. This, and like I said earlier, this is how you create super fans. If they feel like your music brought them closer to a friend, oh my God, or closer to a family member, or your music made them feel like they were worth something, think about that. I'm sure many of you can sit here and think about songs that have done that for you. I'm sure that's one of your favorite artists, because they were able to meet these hierarchy needs for you. Something that's going to motivate you and push you and make you want to be a better person. Play into those needs and do that with the hero's journey in your writing, and the way you write ad copy, and the way you write things on your website, talking about your story or applying it to the listener. Have you ever felt like A, B, or C? Then this song is for you. So let's do a quick review, go back over what we were talking about. We have the hero's journey. Now, the way the hero's journey is broken out in Story Brand is there's a character with a problem that meets a guide that's given them a plan, then gives them an action, and that action then leads to either their success or failure. Remember that and apply that. That's how your hero's journey is going to work in your marketing and all of your writing that you do. And then you've got your hierarchy of needs, which again, you can apply to the way you write your music. You know, the emotional sense that comes from your music, the heart and soul behind your music. But then you can apply that, the same tactics within the hero's journey to meet people's hierarchy needs. You've got your basic needs: food, water, warmth for physiological stuff. You have your safety needs, security, money, resources. Then you move into your psychological needs, which is the love and belongingness that you need, intimate relationships, friends, family, interpersonal relationships. Then you need to meet your esteem needs, feeling like you're worth something, like you're respected, you have status, you have recognition. And from that point on, you can self-actualize and achieve your full potential. Remember, achieving your full potential is just as important for you as it is to your listener. They want to achieve their full potential. They want to self-actualize. So help them get there. Help your listeners self-actualize by meeting their belongingness and love needs, as well as their self-esteem needs. That's it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was a good explanation. I hope you guys can apply this stuff. It can be extremely effective in every single facet of your career, whether you're going the business route or just the producer route. Apply the hierarchy, apply the hero's journey, and you will go so damn far. Head to enviousaudio.com/episode 40 to check out all of the show notes. Go to facebook.com, join the Facebook community, Electronic Dance Money Community. If you love the show, if you hate the show, let me know. Tell me what could be improved or why you love the show. Go to Apple Podcasts or iTunes, look up Electronic Dance Money, rate and review it. Please, please, please let me know how you are liking the show, how you're applying things. I'd love to hear how things are going. If you need any help, head to enviousaudio.com, fill out my contact form. Let me know what I can do for you. Let me know what you're struggling with, and I can point you in the right direction. enviousaudio.com/podcast. If you have someone you'd like to recommend for the show, or if you'd like to come on the show and you have something you'd like to discuss. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. Those of you in the US, have a good Thanksgiving in a couple of weeks. Hopefully nothing burns down, but yeah, we're having a crazy time over here in the US, but hopefully things will get better soon. Thank you guys so much. Stay safe and take care.